Before I begin, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. I promise this story will hit deep, and I'd love to hear what you think. It all started with a text that made my blood run cold. I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone when I saw the message pop up from my sister's boyfriend, Kevin. "I want a $1,500 phone for Christmas. Don't disappoint me." I blinked. Read it twice. Then a third time, hoping my eyes were playing tricks. They weren't. I could feel my chest tighten, a mix of disbelief and anger bubbling inside me. How could someone I barely considered family, demand something like that? First, I questioned myself. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe he was joking. But the tone wasn't joking. It was entitled, commanding, almost aggressive. And worse, my sister had been quiet about it, as if this was normal. 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, little things had been off. Kevin would call her constantly, sometimes while we were all in the room, and she'd disappear to talk privately, returning with a smile that never quite reached her eyes. Gifts he hinted at were always expensive, extravagant, things I knew she couldn't comfortably afford on her own. And somehow, I felt a creeping responsibility to protect her from disappointment, even though I was angry at him. The tension came to a head on Christmas Eve. We were all gathered at my parents' house, the tree lit up, laughter filling the room, when Kevin cornered me. "So, are you getting it?" he asked casually, as if $1,500 was pocket change. I felt something inside me snap. Everyone was watching, and I realized I couldn't let this go. I straightened, looked him in the eyes, and said, "No. And I won't. If that's your idea of a relationship, you're not ready to be part of this family." The room went silent. Kevin's face turned red, his jaw tightening. He stammered something about it being Christmas and a tradition, but I didn't let him finish. I turned away, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. Not with fear, but with rage and protective fury. I wanted to shield my sister from this entitlement, this disrespect, and from someone who thought a gift could define love. After the initial confrontation, I stayed quiet, letting the tension settle. But the fallout was far from over. I could see the disappointment in my sister's eyes. Not at me, but at Kevin. She looked like she wanted to defend him, to justify his behavior, but I could also see the shame, the realization that his demands were wrong. Later that night, when the house had quieted and everyone else was distracted with presents, I pulled her aside. "Are you okay?" I asked gently. She looked down, twisting her hands. I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't know how to handle him. I nodded. "You don't have to. No one should demand things like that, especially from someone you love." The next few days were tense. Kevin tried to smooth things over, but the arrogance was gone, replaced with awkward guilt. I saw my sister watching him closely, weighing her feelings, realizing that love isn't about fulfilling demands or extravagant gifts. It's about respect, kindness, and shared values. Through it all, I reflected on my own reactions. I questioned whether I had been too harsh, too controlling, but deep down, I knew my response came from love, for my sister, for our family, and for the boundaries that protect us from toxic behavior. Some lessons are taught in silence, some in confrontation, and some, painfully, in public. Weeks later, my sister called me. Her voice was quiet but firm. "Thanks for standing up for me. I didn't know how to, and I needed you to." I felt a mix of relief and pride. The fight wasn't just about a phone. It was about respect, self-worth, and learning to set boundaries. Kevin would eventually have to change, or he wouldn't be part of her life anymore. And my sister, I realized, was stronger than she knew, but she needed me to remind her sometimes. That Christmas taught me something vital. Love isn't measured by money or gifts. It's measured by respect, by actions, by the courage to say no when someone tries to take advantage of you. And sometimes standing up, even when it shocks the room, saves someone from being hurt in ways they might not even recognize. To anyone listening, I want you to think about the boundaries in your own life. Who respects them? Who doesn't? And when someone crosses the line, sometimes silence isn't enough. Courage can be quiet, but it's powerful. If this story resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences with standing up for family, love, and self-respect. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories that hit deep and stay with you long after the video ends.